Okay, so this is kimchi fried rice that I found on Pinterest. That's just some snack nori. It's pretty good. I had some. It's really good. This is just a dipping sauce I made for mang cheese seafood pancakes. I'm gonna link her channel below because this is delicious. This is her honey butter chicken. Very, very delicious. Hi guys, it's me, Janie.
I'm Ben.
Okay, so today we are having Korean food. I made all this myself.
She did really well.
I don't know. I haven't tasted it yet. I am not wearing makeup because we're gonna eat, and I'm not gonna wear makeup while I eat. So, as I said before, I got mang cheese. I'm gonna link her channel below. That's her honey butter chicken. This is her seafood pancake. This is just a kimchi fried rice that I found online. And this is just a dipping sauce that I made with soy, honey, some sesame oil, some green onions, and some chili flakes. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about Avengers Endgame. I'm gonna stop right here and just say, if you haven't seen the movie yet, please just close this and just go and watch it. I'm gonna post this on either Monday, today's Monday, I'm gonna try and edit it tonight, or tomorrow, and I'm just gonna assume that everyone, not everyone, but most people have seen it over the weekend. Yeah, so we're gonna start. I really wanted to do Korean food because I've been watching a bunch of Korean YouTubers do mukbangs, like Kimi and Dorothy and Hyunyi, and I was just like, okay, I need to try this because it all looks delicious. I made all of this from scratch, and I'm hoping that it tastes authentic. We wouldn't know. If it just tastes good, I guess it just tastes good. Okay. What happened in the movie? What we had notes just to kind of keep our this whole thing on track.
So the first scene is the.
Oh, by the way, I got these on Amazon because I saw Kimi have them.
The first scene was Hawkeye's family getting dusted.
I know, that was extremely sad.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that as a mom myself, that kind of hurt me, because I'm just like, what if my own family just disappeared? You know what I mean? Like, that scared me. But you can tell that just tore him apart.
Yeah, and it's like, it's brutal because you know, in Infinity War, everyone always saw what happened, and he has no idea.
Yeah, he has no idea it's happening. Oh my god, Ben, you need to taste this.
All right.
He has no idea it's happening. Out of nowhere, his family just disappears. Is it good? Thank you, Manchi. I can't imagine just the total devastation that he felt.
So, get some of this.
What happened after that?
Then we cut to Tony and Nebula.
Oh, right. This is such a weird combination for me. Like, this
right?
team up is so weird that you put Nebula and Tony together.
But I love seeing him teach her how to have fun. She was just like, fun?
She had no idea what fun is.
Never heard that word.
The whole little game they played really showed another side of Nebula that I really liked, just her being almost childlike.
Well, I'm about to say, now that I think of it, it's also a good setup for him becoming a father.
Becoming a dad, right. And then finally Captain Marvel finds them, thank God, you know, and brings him back to Earth. And he is clearly...
a little malnourished.
Yeah, he's a little malnourished, but he clearly has not forgiven Cap.
Yeah.
For not coming to the rescue soon enough.
I mean, it's a little unfair considering you dropped your phone. But I can understand that he's mad about losing. Especially losing Peter.
That was the main thing I think he was mad about. Just watching Peter disappear like that in Infinity War. I think that broke him a little bit.
Yeah. Was it Cap that he said he lost the kid to? He's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It was Cap. When he hugged Cap, he said, "I lost a kid."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then they're all talking about how to find Thanos and where he is.
Mm-hmm. And what's her name is there?
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel's there.
They're all kind of trying to figure out a way to find him.
Mm-hmm.
They figure out pretty quickly where he was because there's a similar energy source to the Infinity Stones.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, this is really good.
And
The seafood pancake is delicious.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And so literally within the first 10 minutes, we're already going to find him.
Mm-hmm. That kind of like weirded me out because I thought that the whole movie was going to be, we need to find Thanos and fight him. So I was like, okay, well, if we find him this quickly, what's the rest of the like 2.5 hours about?
Right.
And then we find him, and we find out that that last power signal, that big power surge, was him destroying the stones. And I mean, everyone was just like, that's it, we're done. We can't go back in time. We can't, undo the snap. We can't do anything. And it's just this, and it's just pure despair after that.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's just completely just depressed. Everyone in the world. And I mean, Cap's going to grief counseling.
Almost seems like he's leading it, but yeah, even still.
Yeah, seems like he was leading it. Now that you say that.
Yeah, Black Widow hasn't done anything with her hair in 5 years. I feel like it'll be a little longer than that. But.
Me too. But you know what? I think it grows like a quarter of an inch a month or something. I don't know. Let me Google it.
And she had it pretty short, so it's a good look.
I didn't quite like it, but I understand the reasoning behind it. Obviously, her natural hair is growing back, her natural hair color. But at this point, we realize that that Hawkeye has become Ronin.
Which is kind of not explored too much.
No, they don't really, like, I wish I could see the buildup of him becoming Ronin. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of wanted more of that. And I feel like it's already a 3-hour movie. You can put it somewhere. You can fit it in there somewhere.
And that scene in Japan would have been nice, but it's... You don't really see it taking a toll on him. You don't really totally see his aim. Which is pretty similar to my other kind of issue with my big issue with the movie is how Hulk is handled.
Right, and then we got to 5. Oh wait, we're already in 5 years later. Oh no.
Right, and so
they're gathering everyone because Scott's back.
Ant-Man came back.
Ant-Man came back from
and
the quantum realm.
That's a great scene when he's trying to figure out what's going on, and he goes to find Cassie.
Right,
and she's older.
But the scene before that, when he kind of bumps into a kid. And he's just like, what's happening here? Like, what happened? And the kid's just looking at him with just, like, the most sadness. Like, you don't know what happened? What kind of question is that?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Everyone knows what happened. And then he finds Cassie, and I remember, like, holding my breath. Like, God, I hope Cassie's not dead. Like, I hope Cassie's not dead. I hope Cassie's not dead. And lo and behold, she was alive. Thank God. He goes and he goes to the tower.
Well, the Avengers compound.
He goes to the compound. I guess he's not in the tower anymore. And is Tony already there? No. Tony's with.
Excuse me.
Tony's with Pepper and his daughter at this point. And he has a daughter.
Right.
Named Morgan. He said that in the beginning of Infinity War, right? When Thanos was coming.
Somebody had a dream.
He had a dream that they had a kid. Yeah.
Yes, Ant-Man comes back. He says, I feel like he said, for me, it was only 5 hours. Maybe we can use that. So the first thought is to go for the smart people they know.
This is also the main problem I have with the film. And that, to me, it feels contradictory on the time. On how time works. Do you know what I mean? Because we're going to get to the end of what happened. But for me, I'm just like, okay, well, if we're supposed to be in a different timeline, then that's not supposed to happen.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
So Cap and Widow and Ant-Man all go to find Hulk.
Widow.
And he has merged his brain with the Hulk's body. I like calling him Professor Hulk. But my problem with that is that I wanted to see that transformation. The fact that we just kind of jumped to it.
Me too. I wanted to see how he got there.
Because there was this whole build-up of, in Ragnarok, it's almost nothing but Hulk. In Infinity War, it's almost nothing but Banner. And then trying to figure out the two of them. am glad what the end result is, but I just wanted to see.
Right, the end result I think is pretty cool. That's a pretty, you know what I mean? That they both came together as one person. I just, like, before he was struggling with it. In Infinity War, he was really struggling with it. He didn't want to come out. And then all of a sudden, like, you guys are okay? I mean, although it's been 5 years later, for me, the viewer, it's just all of a sudden. Do you know what I mean?
Right. You need, it's, you know, I've seen other stuff with gaps in time like this, and you can have sudden changes, but you really got to be able to explore them. But considering the plot suddenly goes towards time travel, trying to figure out how to do time heist, you know, you never get to talk to about it. You know, like, shouldn't Tony be asking him a ton of questions? He was asking him so many questions when they first met about Hulk, and now he's done this and he just doesn't really say anything about it. It's just how it is. No one asks how he got there. Anyway,
so they figure it out
after
they do all the testing. And Hawkeye gets to see his family again. Why is I keep calling him Hawkeye?
Well, he doesn't even get to see.
He just gets to, like, hear them. So he knows it's possible now, and he has renewed hope. So they start setting up the time heist. They try to figure out where in time they need to go.
They realize everyone here had contact with all of the stones
at some point,
except for the Soul Stone at a certain point. But even then, they know where it is.
And Vormir. Right.
So they set up the time heist. I like the team ups.
Me too.
I wish there was a like Rhodey and Nebula is interesting because those
they became friends.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't.
They never interact and they connect.
Based on their bodies, because I think she's been modified, and he's been modified.
Yeah.
So I think that they kind of connect on that.
I do like that. I wish there was a little bit more of that, just because I like the character development, especially these minor characters that don't get as much attention.
Like, I really like that. You know what I mean? Because remember, his legs don't work, so he uses the machine. And Thanos has experimented all over her body, so she's made a machine too. So I feel like they connect on that level. Go on.
So the first team up is Iron Man, Captain America, Ant-Man, and Professor Hulk, going back to the original Avengers, the Battle of New York.
Oh, it's so fun. That part's so funny to me because he's just like, go smash something. And he's like, all right. And he's like,
Clark's not really in it.
Yeah, he's just like, ah.
But I love this look behind.
Like, he's like throwing cars, like, all right, fine. It's so barbaric.
Well, and it's almost a look behind the scenes because Cap gives everyone the directions to go in, and in the original movie, you just see Hulk go do what he needs to do. But now you get to see a little bit where he's just still kind of hulking out and having fun. He's just smashing stuff for no reason for a minute.
And I think he has to fit in. That's why they do that.
But
so they go to the tower.
Well, Hulk goes to Bleecker Street. Street, excuse me.
Bleecker Street.
Where the Ancient One is deflecting attacks, which I thought
was so cool.
Which I love that alternate look at, like, well,
where
hold on, these characters were around. What were they doing?
What was she doing? Yeah, that was cool. She's badass.
That's such a great trick whenever they get to do time travel stuff. It's like Back to the Future 2, where you find out that the whole, you not find out, but like this kind of idea of like you're seeing the scenes again, but now you're getting a different perspective. I really enjoy that.
I enjoy that a lot too.
So he starts talking
that was fun.
To the Ancient One, thinks he can overpower her. I'm not sure why he thinks that, but she knocks him out of his body, and for the only time in the movie you get to see Hulk, or you get to see Banner.
And he's just trying to, like, right? And he's trying to, like, you know, just reason with her.
And this is where, never mind the audience, that Doctor Strange saw one possibility where they win, and then ends up giving the stone to Thanos.
Right. Because the Ancient One's like, Strange is meant to be the best of us. So if the best of us thinks that I should give you the stone, then I'm giving you the stone. Do you know what I mean? And then, because she's explaining, this is where the time thing, like, really weirds me out. Because she's saying that if you take one stone out of time, then you create a whole nother alternate timeline over here. You know what I mean? You create a whole branch, a whole different thing.
Which, Yeah, which I had to think on it, which she's not meaning just in general with time. It's because the stones are so integral to the entirety of reality that once you take one out, it's just going to doom that entire reality. It's not just like, oh, you change the timeline. It's literally just like...
That's what I was saying, because I'm like, if they just change the timeline, it just changes the future. But then Banner said just because you do that doesn't mean that this future changed.
It's like Dragon Ball Z time travel, where every time you're doing that, every time you're going back, all you're doing is there's an alternate
creating an alternate timeline.
Where you're not actually changing yours. But it's also the thing of, I still want to change mine for the better.
I was like, oh.
But also, I want to...
I think who was thinking it? Scott was thinking the same thing I was thinking, where it's like, it's not Back to the Future rules?
Exactly. But
same, Scott, same.
I did want to take a step back for a second, because I did miss something that we wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Which was, they did have to go and collect Thor.
Oh, right. Oh!
And Janie lives for...
I live for Fat Thor. I live for him. He looks... I love it. I don't know why I love it so much, because it's like, he's such a bro. He's that guy that sleeps on your couch, drinks and eats your crap, and doesn't help you with anything around the house, and just like, still just thinks he deserves to live there with you.
Drink all the beer.
All the beer. I love it. I love Fat Thor. And I like the fact that over the entire movie, they didn't like change him or like go do like a montage of yourself working out and he's back to normal.
He's still fat the entire
still
movie.
fat. Yeah, he's still Fat Thor, and I like it. I'm sure that in some way, shape, or form, he's gonna work out, you know, after the whole thing is done. But for right now, he's given up hope. He killed Thanos. He won't get a bunch of his people back. He won't get his brother back. He won't do any. He can't get any of that back. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So he's done. He's lost all hope. He's good. In his mind, Thanos won. Whatever. Let it go.
I do appreciate that there's a lot of, in this movie, a lot of little references, little moments to things that you wouldn't even expect. Or not expect, but other movies would completely ignore. Like Korg and Meek are living with him. And even in other times in this franchise, they would just ignore a side character.
Right.
It'd be like, well, we're bringing...
It was fun. It's fun that they came back.
We're bringing Thor over, but who cares about everyone else in the Thor movies? We just want Thor. But instead you get Korg and Meek. You get at the end in Infinity War and in this one, you get to see Ned with Peter Parker. You get to see a lot more minor characters than you would expect.
I really like that.
This is the first time Happy's been in an
I
Avengers
know.
movie.
I was thinking in my mind. I was thinking of Happy.
Others. He wasn't in any of the others. He still, Jon Favreau, I believe, still produced some of them, but Happy the character, again, it was like you don't have space for it. In the first Avengers, the only side character from the other movies were Pepper.
Yeah, you're right.
Selvig, who they also kind of dropped after Dark World.
Coulson.
No, Coulson wasn't. He was
the
in
first
all
one.
He was in all of the movies. Not all of the movies, but he was like a running theme throughout the movies. And then, but Selvig, it's you can't bring everyone over.
Right.
Was the thing earlier on.
And also make it cohesive.
Right. Or even the Age of Ultron thing where you have them in one scene, but they're not actually part of the team. Like at the beginning of Age of Ultron, you have Sam and Rhodey there. In the party scene, but then when the real fighting starts, they don't really show up for a while.
Right.
But this movie, they kind of not throw it out the window, but they really pay a lot more lip service to it.
Right. Which
I appreciate. So you get Korg and Meek, you get Ned, you get more Pepper, you get Happy, and then we'll talk about the end.
Okay.
Eventually when I get there. While Hulk's kind of off on his own, Tony, Steve, and Scott are having to team up and do some classic heist stuff with misdirection, and one person goes this way and goes the other way,
which is fun.
So first, Scott has to be flicked.
I know.
He bends over.
Says, "Flick me," and I just die. I'm literally the only one in the theater that laughed at that.
I don't know why.
And I don't know why. It was so funny.
It is funny because
it was so funny.
Yeah.
No one laughed but me.
So he gets flicked over onto Tony, the original Tony, or old 2012 Tony.
2012 Tony.
And everyone gets to go in the elevator. Now, again, I love this kind of, not an alternate look, but an extended look at something that happened, because in the movie, you just see that shot where Loki says, I'll take that drink now. And then it just kind of cuts, and you don't know what happens, and now you get to see the nitty-gritty of S.H.I.E.L.D. showing up and how they're going to handle everything.
Oh my god. When Cap goes into the elevator.
Right. But first, the other elevator thing is, they're all getting on the elevator, and he says, no, Hulk, you're too big.
Yeah.
We're at capacity. And Hulk gets all mad.
That was hilarious.
You have to take the stairs.
These stairs. And he goes, so many stairs.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Which is why he hasn't changed back yet. He's still angry. But yeah, the Sitwell and Crossbones show up again. Which, again, is such a cool thing of, like, they've been gone from the movie since Sitwell died in Winter Soldier, which was 2014. And they bring him back for this one scene, and Cap gets in the elevator with him, and it's the exact same tension shots as the elevator scene in Winter Soldier. And I honestly did think that we were going to have another fight scene.
I thought he was going to fight him, too.
And then when he turns to him and whispers,
Hail Hydra.
It was so cool. And then it just cuts to him walking out with a smark on his face. It's such an exciting payoff. Because it is also like a hindsight 2020 vision. And I love how Scott was just like, you can't tell that these are bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, look at them.
They look like bad guys.
Yeah. Then down in the lobby, we had another cool
misdirection kind of thing.
Misdirection, but also a nice cool callback where we got Robert Redford back.
Yeah.
Which is...
That was a huge one.
I was very surprised to see him there. Like, I really was, like, surprised because I knew that he wasn't much into acting these days. So the idea that he showed up for this scene was really cool.
Did you know that he created the Sundance Film Festival?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I did not know that until I was just like, who is this guy? And then I checked him out, and then I was like, oh, okay.
And they give 2012 Tony a little heart attack so that current Tony can take the Tesseract, and then they'll have done their part, except because he
made Hulk go down the stairs.
Because he originally would have walked outside at that point or been distracted by something, he had no idea that Hulk was going to come out those doors, get smacked in the face, and then Loki takes off with the Tesseract. So at this point, the time heist, they have to improvise. Which is why,
in my mind, I was like, Loki should be back. He should be there.
But this is like not that timeline.
That's what I was thinking. And then I was like, which is why I said the whole thing is weird because of the end, and I'll tell you why.
So before we get to where Tony and Cap go to fix that, they also go back to Asgard during the events of Thor: The Dark World, and it's Thor and Rocket, which is a good combo to have.
It's a fun team.
Yeah,
it's a very fun team.
Thor is very inconsolable at this point. Like, even though Rocket opens up to him about losing his family,
yeah, I thought that was going to help.
Thor still just runs away. I'd have to research it, but I do not believe they actually got Natalie Portman back. They are just reusing scenes from the Dark World.
She said she was done. She said she was done.
I think they're just reusing it and then edited in Rocket, which is why the only time you see her is either from behind, but the only time you see her in front is a scene with Rocket. You never see her with anyone else. It's just reused footage.
Which is fine. It worked.
Exactly.
It worked. It made sense.
But Thor gets to talk to his mother, and it's nice to have someone who knows something is off, but also
well, she said she was raised by witches, so she knows.
Exactly. She knows it's still her son.
It's still her son, just not the son at the time. Just not her son in this time.
And so he finally gets the pep talk that he needed.
From her.
And calls Mjolnir back to him.
I know, right?
So he knows he's still worthy and he can still do this.
Yeah.
So theirs went very easily. It was more emotional than
physically trying him.
And then the last one is, as we were talking about earlier, Rhodey, Nebula. And
can we all conclude that Star-Lord's an idiot?
Yeah, Hawkeye and Black Widow go back. They leave Hawkeye and Black Widow.
I just don't know why.
On Vormir, and
I mean, I know why, but why would you make the two humans go to Vormir?
I mean, they don't know what
is on Vormir. I know, but
Gamora was the one who knew
what was on Vormir.
Who seemed to know kind of more what was going on, but even then, I think she didn't know.
Nebula knew what happened on Vormir.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
No, she knew that they went and Gamora didn't come back. That's all she knew. She didn't know why. Thanos never stopped and was just like, "This is what happened."
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah, he didn't explain to her what exactly happened.
Exactly.
So they debate for a while as to who to do it. And I knew it was gonna be her. She doesn't have any family. No, like not like him where he has a wife and children, and the only family that she has is the Avengers.
But of course, because they're heroes, they're trying to outdo each other, and
yeah, they're going at it, and they're really close friends too. I think they're best friends actually. Yes. It's hard for you to want to see your best friend die. So I can understand that kind of fight between them where I don't want you to die and I don't want you to die. But I knew it was going to be her because, again, she has no family. Right. And she has no blood relatives, so there's nothing that she's missing.
And she's going to do what she has to do.
Right, and she's going to do what she has to do because the Avengers are her family. And if it means that she has to give up her life for that family, then she will. But Hawkeye has wife and children. So I knew it was not going to be him. That was sad. I cried in the theater. I don't know if anyone else cried, but I cried because she wasn't like the biggest character of the whole thing, but she still helped a whole bunch in a lot of battles. Yeah. So, but just seeing just knowing that it was, I think I cried more knowing that the whole Avengers thing was coming to an end too. And this kind of solidified it that the whole thing was just coming to an end.
But Rhodey and Nebula get to watch Star-Lord do his dance, which is fun. I like the idea of...
It's fun seeing it without the music, hearing it without the music.
Well, that and also a character who was completely alone. Now someone else gets to see what they did while they were alone. But their mission is fairly easy. The thing they didn't expect is that Nebula, no matter where she is, when she is, what timeline she's from, can be accessed by Thanos. So there's a lot of technical mumbo jumbo to get to the idea that they can read her memory, they can read her location, right? So that they can eventually do a swap,
which they do.
And so the older Nebula puts on some of her newer pieces so that she looks like her,
and she goes back in her place.
And this is before Gamora met the Guardians and changed kind of her ways. So then they've got everything except for the Tesseract. Tony and Steve go back to 1970, I believe. Go to the same base that Captain America was.
I have to stop you right there. What is it? When was Captain America? When was he created?
1940s.
Okay. And this is 1970.
Yeah.
So this is like a good 30 years later. Yeah. So he goes back and Peggy's still young and everything. Yeah. This is why...
You didn't know Haley Atwell was like 60 years old? No, I'm just
This
kidding.
is a discrepancy.
I can't talk
because if
about
this is 970, this is 1970.
Don't do that.
Okay, if it's 1970, and he was made in 1945, and I'm gonna wing it and say she was about 21, 22. How is she still? Yeah, how is she still young looking in the 70s? Like that makes no sense to me.
I can't comment on that because that was the moment I had to step out of the theater, so I barely got to see.
Hank Pym was like young and he had brown hair, and you didn't really miss that much. No. But I was thinking about it when I sat in the theater, like why is she still young looking when Captain America was in like 1940s and she was like 21, 22.
Not sure.
Right there, it isn't making sense to me right there because she clearly looks like, I don't know, 30s.
Right. She should be in her 50s.
She should be in her... Right. So that didn't make too much sense to me, but I guess someone can comment below and explain that to us. Maybe it makes sense some way, shape, or form, but someone can comment and
so they steal some more Pym particles so they can travel back.
He steals it.
Right, I didn't see that.
Right.
But then Tony goes down to like the lower area.
And he meets his dad.
Finds Tesseract and his dad's there.
Yeah, that was a big scene. I think I think that was...
He didn't get to say goodbye.
No, he never did. And I think that it really kind of gave Tony a perspective as to what it means to be a good man and a good dad. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
and to get to talk to his father as an adult.
Yeah.
Because that's a different...
It's a different conversation when you're a child having a conversation with an adult, as opposed to an adult having a conversation to an adult.
Yes.
You understand way more of what they're going through. You're able to kind of be more open-minded. And I feel like because of the end of this film, he needed that.
Yes.
He really needed that. That kind of completed him, in my opinion. I mean, he had his wife, he had his daughter, and to be able to talk to his dad one more time, I think really came full circle for him.
And then I got really excited when we saw Jarvis.
Oh my God, yeah, the Jarvis from the show. From
they finally got, they always said, like, I mean, I guess
Peggy
Carter's a little different.
Agent Carter, yeah.
But they always said, we're never going to bring a character from the show into the movies.
And it was Jarvis.
And he's been established as an idea in the movies.
Listen, Jarvis looks old.
They did age him up.
Yeah, they aged him up.
Because the Agent Carter show was set in the 50s.
They aged him up.
And they did age him up a little bit.
Yeah, and Howard's old, but Peggy isn't old.
Don't know.
Did someone see any gray?
They did gray up Jarvis more than he is in the show.
Right. And they you know, Howard was old, but I remember in Agent Carter they were almost like around the same age-ish.
Yeah. I mean, it was Dominic Cooper in the show.
I know it was Dominic Cooper, but I mean, it was still there around the same.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm
trying to think if Peggy had any gray hair or any
I was just excited to see him.
Features that I could. Okay, that's not making any sense to me.
But I was just excited to see him because, if you haven't seen the show, he is amazing in it. Like his character is.
Jarvis is fun in the show.
Yeah. But they get everything back, and then they go back, and now we're at I think maybe a little past the halfway point of the movie.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of movie here.
Yeah. We have to wrap it up though. We have to do it quickly. We all come back. We all have the stones. We put the stones in a glove, and
we decide who's gonna wear it.
Yeah, and everyone's kind of like, I should wear it. I should wear it.
And this is Hulk's big moment because he says, "I have the
gamma rays and everything.
I have the defense against it."
Right, so it should be me.
So he puts it on, thinks hard on whatever he's gonna do, and he says later that he did try to bring Natasha back,
but apparently when you take the soul stone takes a soul, it's permanent. There's no bringing the person back. Yeah. So I guess the Gamora from that timeline
is gone.
Right. And Natasha is also gone. There's no bringing her back.
Yeah. But everyone seems to come back, but we don't really get a moment to explore that because at that time the fake Nebula
she does something and brings Thanos to the ship, right?
And his whole army.
Right, and then it's like, bam, bombs away. The whole Avengers building's gone. Yeah, everyone's underneath rubble, and
then we're just kind of piecing ourselves back together.
Basically,
he just sits there and waits for them.
Yeah.
Knowing
clearly a trap, but
not even like a trap necessarily. He's just like, I'm not gonna go and dig them out.
They're gonna come find me anyway.
Exactly.
So I'm just gonna sit right here and wait for them. By the way, his weapon
is so cool.
That double-bladed thing with the grip in the middle. That's cool as hell. So Tony, Cap, and Thor are just face off against him. We're just like, yeah, this is clearly a trap. Let's, you want to go fight him? Yeah, why not? We're gonna have to fight him. So they go down there, and Thor has. Well, does he have both hammers now?
He has the hammer
and Stormbreaker.
Cap has his shield back.
But then Fat Thor gets his armor back, and his little chin's braided, his beard is braided, and he's got his hair up, and I'm like, this is so fitting because I don't want to see skinny Thor anymore. You know what I mean? Like I expected him. I was like, oh.
Once he changes, he's just gonna go.
Right. I thought that was gonna happen, but it didn't, and the armor went onto his fat body, and I was like, yes, this is it.
And they do I really.
This is the consistency that I want.
Yeah, and I really want to watch the movie. I mean, I watched the whole movie again, but I really want to see from this point forward again because there's so much happening. Yeah. But there's so many cool combo moves.
Oh my god.
Thor uses the lightning to power up Iron Man some more. They're just all working in tandem, but even still, Thanos is just
taking him down easily,
and then meanwhile, everyone else is kind of distracted because they're kind of under the rubble,
right?
Trying to get out of
that. The best part to me of this entire film.
Because we've known it was coming.
Yeah, we knew it was coming. But from, was it Ultron?
Right.
From Ultron. Yeah.
Where Cap tries to lift Mjolnir.
Cap tries, yeah. And it budges.
Yeah.
But, it still makes Thor a little, like nervous. Yeah. And then he finally picks it up. No, he gets hit in the face, and it comes back to Cap. Yeah. And he's holding it. And then Thor's like, I knew it. And it was... Yeah. I mean, this whole fight sequence between Cap and Thanos with that with Mjolnir,
and the hammer,
it was amazing. I did not know that Cap could harness the lightning like that.
Like, I knew he could pick it up.
I knew he would pick it up.
But like the lightning, I didn't think that came.
Yeah, I know, right? But he was like, I mean, that whole thing of throwing throwing Mjolnir and then hitting his shield and then hitting back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hitting Thanos in the back of the head. It was awesome. It was awesome. To me, the best part of the film. Oh, yeah. Because we knew it was coming, and to see him like use it so well, like he was an expert, like he'd been using it for the whole time. Yeah.
Although I wish they had done the same thing that Hulk did to Loki in the first Thor, where Loki's on the ground, he just lays Mjolnir on top of his chest. Yeah. And Loki can't move, and I'm like, would that just work on Thanos? Just
lay it on his chest.
Lay it on him, and he can't move.
Well, in his mind, he's being righteous. He's doing the right thing.
Right.
So it might not.
Which is a more interesting kind of villain. No, he wouldn't be able to pick it up.
Right. Would you call him like chaotic good? Chaotic neutral?
Chaotic neutral. He wants everything to be balanced.
Right. So I guess chaotic neutral. Yeah.
To be done.
Right.
So it eventually gets to the point of the shields breaking. Mm-hmm. Everyone's kind of beaten down. Mm-hmm. And Thanos feels like he's about to win because his whole army kind of comes out of the woodwork.
Right.
And then you see the portals start opening up behind everyone.
I know.
And everyone comes out. And again, this is something I really need to see because there are people there that I didn't even notice when we were watching. So it's all the sorcerers.
Asgardians. Okay, the Wakandas come. Wakandas come.
Yeah, and then I didn't see it, but apparently the Ravagers are there. Mm-hmm. So, the ones led by Sean Gunn after Guardians. And apparently Howard the Duck is part of that team. So he's in the fight. And everyone that got poofed in the last movie.
Everyone that got poofed.
So the whole thing starts with Black Panther walking out with his sister.
And then Pepper.
And Okoye.
Yeah. Pepper comes down
with a suit of armor.
With a whole suit just for her.
It looks so cool.
It's so feminine.
I wish she had her extremist powers still, but still.
Yeah. That was cool.
Her suit looks awesome. Everyone starts showing up. Sam, Bucky. Who else? Peter comes through.
Yeah. Peter.
Like everyone you could think of, except very, very few are missing.
Doctor Strange is back.
All the Guardians
are back.
Wong.
Mantis comes out like. I'm like, what can you do, Mantis, in this big crowd of right. What? Honestly, what can she do
in a warfare?
In a setting like
battle,
this,
sure.
Yes.
But in a warfare,
in a big battle like this, there's no way. Just go sit down, Mantis.
And in the meantime, Ant-Man turned into Giant Man to bring the building up off everyone, so that Hawkeye and all them can come and join the fight. Well, Hawkeye wasn't stuck under there, but
yeah, just kind of free everyone up.
Rhodey and Hulk and Rocket were. And then it's Cap says the best, not the best line, but he says
Avengers, and he goes assemble, and it was like goosebumps.
Yeah. And they all run
because it's the last time he is ever gonna say Avengers assemble. Yeah. There's no more. This is it. This is the last time he's gonna say assemble.
So big old battle happens. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Giant Ant-Man punches one of the big space worms.
Yeah, that's cool. Valkyrie on her unicorn? Her Pegasus? Yeah. That was so cool.
Right?
That was absolutely cool. Who else is there?
We just see some cool combos. Again, I really want to just watch those scenes over.
Me too. I want to watch the big battle over again.
See what everyone's doing.
Yeah, because everyone was like partnering up.
You do have the important character moment where Star-Lord gets saved by Gamora. And he thinks it's her, but doesn't realize that she doesn't know him at all.
No, not this Gamora anyway.
So I think that's some setup for Guardians 3.
Yeah, me too. I think I won't say what I think about Guardians 3. Okay, the Wakandas come. The Wakandas come.
Yeah, and then I didn't see it, but apparently the Ravagers are there. So, you know, the ones led by Sean Gunn after Guardians. And apparently Howard the Duck is part of that team. So he's in the fight and everyone that got poofed in the last movie.
Everyone that got poofed.
So the whole thing starts with Black Panther walking out with his sister.
And then Pepper. And
Okoye.
Yeah. Pepper comes down
with a suit of armor.
With a whole suit just for her.
It looks so cool.
I don't know, it's so feminine.
I wish she had her extremist powers still, but still.
Yeah, that was cool.
Her suit looks awesome. You know, everyone starts showing up. Sam, Bucky. Who else? Peter comes through.
Yeah. Peter.
You know, like everyone you could think of, except you know, very, very few are missing.
Doctor Strange is back.
All the Guardians are back.
All the Guardians are back.
Wong.
Mantis comes out like, and I'm like, what can you do, Mantis, in this big crowd of like right. What, honestly, what can she do
in a warfare?
In a war, in like a setting like
battle,
this.
Sure.
Yes.
But in a warfare,
in like a big battle like this, there's no way. Just go sit down, Mantis.
And in the meantime, Ant-Man turned into Giant Man to bring the building up off everyone, so that Hawkeye and all them can come and join the fight. Well, Hawkeye wasn't stuck under there, but
yeah, just kind of free everyone up.
Rhodey and Hulk and Rocket were. And then it's Cap says the best, not the best line, but he says
Avengers, and he goes assemble, and it was like goosebumps.
Yeah. And they all run
because it's the last time he is ever gonna say Avengers assemble.
Yeah.
There's no more. This is it. This is the last time he's gonna say assemble.
So big old battle happens. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Giant Ant-Man punches one of the big space worms.
Yeah, that's cool. Valkyrie on her unicorn.
Her Pegasus.
Yeah. That was so cool.
Right.
That was absolutely cool. Who else is there?
We just see some cool combos. Again, I really want to just watch those scenes over.
Me too. I want to watch the big battle over again,
see what
just to see what.
Doing.
Yeah, because everyone was like partnering up.
You do have the important character moment where Star-Lord gets saved by Gamora. And he thinks it's her, but doesn't realize that she doesn't know him at all.
No, not this Gamora anyway.
So I think that's some setup for Guardians 3.
Yeah, me too. I think I won't say what I think about Guardians 3.
I did want to bring up the girl power scene.
Oh yeah, that was a big one. Here's my problem with that scene, right? In this vast battlefield, all those girls managed to find each other. I mean, everyone's like in different places on the battlefield. How'd you do? And Captain Marvel does not need you.
She doesn't need backup.
She does not need backup, ladies. Okay, it was a cool scene. It was a cool idea. I just think that all of them were all over the battlefield. I mean, she was with Tony. Pepper was with Tony.
Hope was all the way with Scott.
She was with Scott. Yeah, I mean, like, for me, it doesn't make... Like, how do you all find each other? You all just, like, follow the glowy light and be like, you know what? That looks like a chick. Yeah. I'm gonna head over there. She might need some help. Some like, utero power.
And it would have been good if there was a payoff as far as... you get to see all of them combo on like one of the Black Order.
Right, and it wasn't like that. It was literally just them fighting.
They
and
start
her
running, and then the camera follows Captain Marvel,
and she just flies straight through them. That was it. She does. Yeah, she doesn't. I mean, the part with like her holding the glove though, and then like him punching her, and then it just like knocks off.
You do get one-on-one with Captain Marvel and Thanos, and he is completely outclassed.
He is.
He has to use a Power Stone to even
exactly,
get her off them.
Exactly, and that was a callback to Infinity War when he did that to Cap.
Yeah,
because he did the same thing with his glove, and then he hit him, and then he got knocked back. But with her, it was just like, oh, okay, well, I guess I can't do that to her.
Yeah. And then the only other person that beat him one-on-one was Scarlet Witch, and she was so mad at him.
For taking Vision away from him, from her.
Like, he had to give up some of his own people to get her off his back. Like, she would have absolutely destroyed him.
And I had said this in Infinity War, that when she had faced him, I thought that it was going to be her that would be defeating him, honestly. I thought she was going to be the one to do it. Yeah. Because I thought that she was the most powerful. Like, he has brute force, and she doesn't. So I feel like they, you know what I mean? Yeah. They're complete opposite, and it would be her. But it wasn't her.
Yeah. Then eventually the battle goes towards who has the gauntlet. Thanos finally gets everyone off his back.
Mm-hmm.
He and Tony die for it. Or actually,
well, at this
Tony,
point,
Tony,
no, at this
has
point, there's
on.
some, because of all the battling and everything, there's water coming over into the battlefield, and Doctor Strange is holding it back. And then, and then Thanos gets the glove.
Yes.
And then Tony's eyes meet Doctor Strange's, and Doctor Strange, because he had asked Doctor Strange early in the battle, is this the one where we win? And he's just like, I can't tell you because that'll change the whole thing.
Right. So at the last moment, he looks at him,
and he
holds
goes
up one.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tony dives to Thanos, wrestles with him for a minute, and Thanos pushes him off.
And then snaps.
And there's nothing.
Yeah.
And because it's Tony's
nanites.
glove...
It's Tony's glove and the nanites.
He just wanted to be able to touch the glove and transfer all the stones over to him. And they're just rearranging themselves on Tony's glove, and he snaps. And Thanos' whole army disappears.
Right. I mean, it took a while for him to disappear, but I think that's okay.
I mean, we saw it again in Infinity War. Certain people took longer.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it was good that he was last. I think it's fitting that he's last.
Because he just kind of realized he was beat.
Yeah, he was beat. Yeah. And
Which, like, you know, I like when they do something a little different. There's no last line from a villain.
No, he just realizes that
this S.H.I.E.L.D. did something like that, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, well, I think he realized that was it. What more was there to say? There's
he's
nothing.
Not turning back from that.
Yeah, so that's it. He's gone.
And then it was too much power for Tony.
Of course, because he's a human.
Yeah.
I mean, it took in Guardians of the Galaxy, it took 5 of them to hold that one Power Stone, and the only reason why they were able to do it because
at the time, Peter was like part planet.
Right. Was Peter his name?
Peter Quill.
Peter Quill. Okay. Yeah. Peter was like half whatever his dad was, and I think that's the only reason why he was able to hold the stone.
Yeah.
So I knew that if Tony got all 5, I mean, he was gonna die. I thought he was gonna all 6. Sorry, I thought he was gonna explode, honestly, because it was just so much. I mean, the Power Stone alone messed with everyone.
Yeah.
All 6 of them, I thought he was gonna explode and die. But I'm happy that it didn't just die. He didn't just die like that.
But he also didn't like give a last speech. He was so beat up that he couldn't talk. All he could was look.
Yeah. There was no last speech.
But his
there
last word
there was
awesome.
no there was nothing like that.
His last words were, "I am Iron Man," which was just really well executed. Like that's perfect screenwriting.
Fitting, yeah, fitting for me. And
everyone gets their last moment. Rhodey, and then Peter, and then Pepper.
Yeah, everyone gets their last moment with them. Just say goodbye, and it's just.
And Peter is so sad because Peter's like
crying.
Yeah,
and crying,
and he's like, "I did it. You know, we did it.
We did it, Mr. Stark." Yeah, he was like a father figure to him.
He was.
And I think that's why when he saw Peter come back, he hugged him so tightly because he knew that Peter looked up to him. Yeah.
It's a great moment.
Yeah, and to lose someone that looked up to you so much, like a son. It was his son basically. When he finally had him back, and now they lost him again. They lost each other again.
Yeah.
It was that was sad.
So then we go to Tony's funeral. And like again, everyone's there. Partitioned off almost into their own franchises.
Right.
Ant-Man's with all of his people and everything. And then...
and Captain Marvel's standing by herself because she's a standalone movie.
And you got the kid from Iron Man 3 back.
Oh, and Guardians are there.
Although they're not in funeral clothes.
No, they're not. They're just in their regular clothes, but
oh well. Again, everyone's there. Nick Fury finally walks in.
Yeah, and gets his credit.
Yeah.
His credit.
And Samuel Jackson really good at finding his mark and sticking to it.
Yep. Good job, Sam.
They had to do the whole shot before he got to him, and he did it. Probably first take.
Yeah. And then we cut to...
Oh, and Happy talks with Morgan.
Happy talks with Morgan.
Says, I'll get you all every cheeseburger you ever want.
Isn't that what Tony wanted
when he came back? He said, I want a cheeseburger.
He wants a cheeseburger. Yeah, when he came back from being captured the whole time, he wanted a cheeseburger. And then we see Cap going back in time to return the stones because that was a deal.
Yeah, he's returning the stones.
That was a deal that Banner made with the Ancient One, that he would have to return them back to the exact time that he took them.
And returning Mjolnir.
Yeah. And did he really return him? Yes.
Yeah. That's why he didn't have it when
And
And then they expect him to come back, and he doesn't, and they turn, and he's sitting there waiting. So, and that's the weirdest part.
To me, that's the part that is upsetting about the time thing.
Right.
Because he's back as an old man right where they left him.
Right.
But this is supposed to be a completely different timeline.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So this whole thing, the whole time thing is weird, but I'm gonna roll with it.
Right.
Because it made for a good movie.
The only thing I can think of is that when the Ancient One was talking about time, she said when you remove the stone, it makes a new timeline.
Oh, so now that all the stones are back where they are.
Now that he put the stones back,
he
went back to wherever Peggy was, that's still the timeline.
Or he probably went back to where Peggy was.
Right.
And then returned the stones to where they were.
Right.
At that point in time.
I remember when he visits her in Winter Soldier, and she says she got married. Does she say who it was?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I don't know if they were planning it that far in advance, but by not naming them, you know, it could be like, hey, listen, I'm gonna come to you, and you can't say anything.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, for me, it may not make sense, but story-wise, it's what I wanted.
Also, the Thor and
Thor John is kind of joining up with the Guardians.
Yeah, he's now a Guardian.
Calls it the Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, this is one of the best. That whole banter about who's the leader.
Yeah,
that was very funny.
That is one of my quibbles though with the movie is that I always thought it was going to mean a lot when Star-Lord comes back to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it would mean more to him to be back home.
Right.
And instead he's just leaving. And
and never even goes to see his mom. But I guess the movie is not about him.
Mom's dead.
I know. I mean, her grave.
Oh, her grave.
Yeah,
okay.
where she's buried. I know she's dead.
I was about to say.
No, I mean, he doesn't get to
visit any of his.
Yeah, doesn't
family.
see any of them at all. Just leaves. I mean, I guess Earth's not his home anymore.
No, I guess not. But I thought he'd be more interested, or maybe.
Or at least, at least go to see his mom's grave. He doesn't have to see any other than but his mom has such an impact on him in the first movie.
Or you think he'd want to go pick up like a DVD of Footloose
or something, but no. Okay. I guess because the movie wasn't about him, they didn't want to put that in.
Right, but I would have liked. I mean, the thing is, you did so many other little moments that didn't need to be there, setups that didn't need to be there. Like I would have liked that. Which, on that same note, again, better for the story to just cut the cat being there. But like, he went back to Vormir. I want to see him meet Red Skull again.
Me too. Me too.
I want to see that. I don't think they're gonna fight. I think they're just gonna talk.
Right. Well. The Red Skull, that's not his job anymore. He's not supposed to fight. He just guards Vormir.
Right.
You know, he
but
guards
I
his
just wanted to see that.
Right. Yeah.
You know? Or just it'd be fun if just like when the Blu-ray comes out, they just have a little montage.
Yeah.
Of like him putting the stone.
I want all the montages that we don't get to see, all the developments I want a montage of all that. I want to see Hulk. I want to see that. I want to see everything.
Right. So he gives Sam the shield. And I think Sam more because he didn't just get his sanity back.
Yeah.
You know? Like, Bucky's more superpowered, but...
that was my qualm with him being Captain America, because I was saying that to him. It's just like, he has no powers. He's just a regular human.
Sam's been by him the whole time, and then that's the thing. It's not about the powers. You know, if you think back to the first Captain America, they didn't pick him because he was the biggest or the strongest. They picked him because...
of his heart.
And his thoughts.
You're right.
So that's why he picked Sam.
You're right. I'd love to see a Bucky and
so the last shot is
Bucky and Sam go, fighting.
And then at Tony's funeral, they put out on the lake the proof that Tony Stark has a heart. And the last shot is Steve finally getting to dance with Peggy.
I know.
In her red dress.
Yeah, that was a good callback to Captain America. Yeah. So overall, I'm giving it a 5 spanking stars out of 5.
Yes.
Because it was awesome.
It was.
It was so awesome. And if you haven't seen it, you need to go and see it, and don't watch this.
Yes.
But yeah, what do you get?
5 out of 5. I mean, there's like I said, there's little quibbles. Little things that were just kind of like, you got everyone back, but I guess Natalie Portman was just being stubborn. I don't know.
Well, she's probably doing some other stuff to some other project.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure that Robert...
Also, Valkyrie is now Queen of Asgard.
Like, I know...
Asgard.
Yes.
New Asgard.
Like, I'm sure Robert Redford was a one-day shoot. I think I saw an article that Tilda Swinton was only there for one day. You know, like, it's not a big.
Her scene was small though.
Exactly.
I mean, it was easy for her to do that.
Exactly.
And I guess Natalie Portman could have done that pretty easily. Just gotten out of bed and just walked away or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the food was great.
The food was great. Okay, guys, thanks again for watching my video. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, and drop a comment. I am learning about, YouTube and doing more editing and trying to film more. So all your comments and your critique will really help me kind of make my videos better. So bad or good, I'm open to it. Okay, well, thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.